Hello, I'm Jeremy, and welcome to another episode of Jeremy U's Music Reviews. I listen to music and you hear my thoughts. 2023 was the year that music refused to be interesting. 2022 may have been a mid-year, but at least it had a couple songs worth talking about. 2023, nada. Zip. Throughout this year, I was desperately waiting for the music to start being interesting, but it never happened. 90% of the songs that came out this year were either okay but nothing special, or bad but forgettably bad. I honestly struggled to make both this worst list and my upcoming best list, because there were so few songs made this year that inspired an emotion other than or this is fine, I guess. But somehow, I managed to find enough songs to make a satisfactory Listmas. And we're starting off with the bad. So join me in seeing what unholy terrors were birthed during this year of mediocrity. This is the top 10 worst songs of 2023.
I hope you get a paper cut on your tongue from a razor and a paper cup. I hope every soda you drank already shaken up. I hope your dreams dry like raisins in the baking sun.
Falling in Reverse is the Robin Hood of bands, in that, like that ridiculous show, FIR is undeniably awful, but at the same time, it's so enjoyably terrible that I can't help but love it ironically. Their music is some of the most amateurish and ridiculous punk garbage you will ever hear. And their frontman, Ronnie Radke, boy, let's just say he's a piece of work. But despite that, they actually managed to get one of their songs to chart on the Hot 100. And my God, is it an absolutely glorious disaster piece.
I actually battle my demons and shallows and women deep in the creep in the shallows and lost. Gotta admit that I'm living the life that I've always wanted, but it comes to the cost. They're licking and sharp, they're fixing to rip me apart, I'm swimming with sharks.
Watch the World Burn is a song that's so dumb that it honestly feels like a parody of the types of songs that Falling in Reverse makes. But no, Ronnie is dead serious, which honestly makes this even more funny. Let's start with the production, and oh dear God, this production radiates movie trailer desperately trying to make the movie it's advertising appear epic energy. And it's genuinely hilarious. With these overdramatic pianos, booming bass drums, backing choir vocals, and percussion that's trying way too hard to sound hardcore and epic. The production just radiates try-hard energy. As for Ronnie, where the hell do I even begin with his performance on this thing? He genuinely comes off as a friggin' cartoon character with how over-exaggerated his vocal deliveries are, overemphasizing every word he says, yelling every single line, and his insanely amateurish approach to speed rapping, which is basically just jamming every single one of his lines inside a 1 second time frame, sounding only slightly more legible than when Peter Griffin recited all 50 states in under a second. Seriously, I've heard 1 minute freestyles that are better than Ronnie's attempt at speed rapping. But easily the funniest part of his performance is this part where he shouts the title of the song.
Watch the world burn!
He sounds like a crying baby with smoker's lung.
Watch the world burn!
Yes, Ronnie, we're all going to watch the world burn. Now finish your bottle and take your nappy. And then we have the lyrics, and any attempt for me to take this song seriously goes straight out the window. Because this is straight up r/I'm 14, and this is deep stuff. With stellar lines like, and I swear to God, all of these lines are real, and that Ronnie was 40 years old when he wrote this. They're licking their chops, they're fixing to rip me apart. I'm swimming with sharks. I'm tipping the charts. I could do some damage, but I'll never rock the boat. I'm killing the syllables with a loaded refillable. All it takes is one post. Watch them fall like dominoes. I'm a mother effing god. You're a light yawn. I'm a time bomb. About to go Darth. About to go Disney. Again, a 40-year-old man wrote this. You'll never get rid of me. Too many mini-me's ripping my imagery. The pain and sorrow left us hollow. No tomorrow's hard to swallow. And easily the most ironic line. Nowadays, everybody's so sensitive. Really, Radke? The dude who dressed up as Anthony Fantano for Halloween and got into beef with my boy Brad Taste in Music because he said mean things about Falling in Reverse's music and copyright struck Brad's FIR album reviews multiple times is going to tell us about everybody being too sensitive. This isn't just the pot calling the kettle black. This is the world's blackest pot telling everybody that kettles are the real black ones. Bottom line, Watch the World Burn is amazingly bad. From the melodramatic production, to Ronnie's cartoonish vocals, to the hilariously awful lines, Watch the World Burn is just an absolute marvel of badness. To the point where it's the only song in this list that I actually recommend checking out. It's such a unique cataclysm of ridiculousness that it has to be seen to be believed. Ronnie may not be able to watch the world burn, but he's able to watch the world laugh at his ridiculous music. Godspeed, Radke. Godspeed.
I hope you get a paper cut on your tongue from a razor in a paper cup. I hope every soda you drank already shaken up. I hope your dreams dry like raisins in the baking sun.
Hey, look everyone. David Guetta made another obnoxious, cynical cash grab song sampling a well-known classic.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I love the young people.
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.
Before I tear it to shreds, I will say that Baby Don't Hurt Me is marginally better than I'm Good Blue. As unlike I'm Good, BDHM at least tries to make the sample sound different from the original song, and both Anne-Marie and Coi Leray's performances have more personality than Baby Rex's I'm Good performance. But those are the only positives this song has, as everything else is horrendous. Starting off with the production, yeah, it's pretty bad. I absolutely love the original What Is Love by Hathaway, both because it's an absolute banger and because of its association with the insanely underrated Chris Kattan and Will Ferrell comedy A Night at the Roxbury. And as a side note, I see you guys trying to fill the music video with various Night at the Roxbury references, trying to appeal to fans of that movie like me in order to give this song goodwill. It's not working. Nice try. And Baby Don't Hurt Me just does not do it justice. It takes the previously stellar production of the original and turns it into this incredibly static and basic EDM drivel that sounds so incredibly hollow and obnoxious. And any catchiness that could be gleaned from it is just leftover catchiness from the original song that David Guetta didn't manage to snuff out. Just absolutely terrible. As for Anne-Marie and Coi Leray, they're pretty bad. Anne just sounds so lifeless and basic, clearly viewing this song as nothing more than a paycheck, and giving it the same level of passion and energy I feel when listening to this song, i.e. none at all. It's such a bland performance that there's basically nothing to say about it. It's that blasé, only having a little more personality than Bebe Rexha and I'm Good. As for Coi Leray, she just sounds so out of place on this song. Her rap verse has a little more personality in it than Anne Marie's verse, but it's still pretty subpar and just doesn't fit with the song's overall vibe, what little vibe it even has. And both Marie and Leray have basically no chemistry whatsoever, so there's nothing really to comment on in that front. And as for the lyrics, they barely exist. It feels like David Guetta just typed love song that samples What Is Love by Hathaway with a rap verse thrown in to appeal to the kiddies into ChatGPT and just had Anne and Coi sing the results. Even by his standards, they just feel so lifeless and basic, only stating the same generic sentiments you've heard in a billion songs about love. But to be fair, what else could I expect from David Guetta? Overall, Baby Don't Hurt Me is just dead air. It takes easily one of the best songs ever made and sucks out all of its creativity, turning it into dead sludge with vapid production, personality-less vocals, and lyrics you've heard a million times executed much better in other songs. As bad as Watch the World Burn is, at least it's an incredibly unique reflection of Ronnie Radke's vision, even if that vision is of a petulant man-child. But Baby Don't Hurt Me is as unique as an NFT. It's an utter waste of a song, and to say you'd be better off listening to the original is an understatement. Go away, David Guetta. We don't need you anymore.
I hope you get a paper cut on your tongue from a razor and a paper cup. I hope every soda you drank already shaken up. I hope your dreams dry like raisins in the baking sun.
Collabs are a neat thing. It can be fun to see two awesome people work together and have interesting interactions. And I found several awesome artists and YouTubers due to them collabing with people I like. But what happens when two equally awful individuals collab together? You get garbage like this.
Fuck my hoe, fuck that bitch. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. Leave me alone, don't text my phone. It is what it is, I'm on what you on.
Fuck my nigga, he ain't shit. Boy ain't good for number dick.
Someone, somewhere, thought to themselves, you know what would be a good idea? A collab between Moneybagg Yo and Glorilla. That would be a great idea. They were wrong. Very wrong. Starting off with the production, wow, is it boring? At least the previous two songs had production that had some dynamic to it, even if one of the songs lifted most of its production elements from a song that was actually good. But, I digress. But here, the production is literally just the same dull piano melody and obnoxious trap skitters played over and over and over and over and over and over again. You know your production is bad when David friggin' Guetta, the Maroon 5 of producers, put more effort into his production than you did. As for the vocals, they're somehow worse, mostly because, as I mentioned earlier, I really don't like either party involved. Starting off with Moneybagg Yo, I always thought this dude was insanely boring and disposable. Waukesha is fine, and his verse on YG's Scared Money is solid, but other than that, Moneybagg Yo just has no charisma and nothing that makes him unique as a rapper. And he 100% proves this on What You On, with Wat spelled W-A-T and U spelled with the letter U.
Because poor literacy is cool.
As he just sounds so bored and lifeless. He's not even really rapping. He's just talking with accompanying background music. At least Anne Marie and Coi Leray tried to do something with their song. Whereas MB sounds so bored and monotone, he's making Ben Stein sound like Red Foo. And then we have Glorilla, and I absolutely hate her. Where Yo at least had an okay song and a solid guest verse, Glorilla has nothing. I have not liked a single friggin' thing this woman has put out. Where Moneybagg Yo is just boring and soulless, Glorilla has one of the most obnoxious and abrasive voices I have ever heard from a rapper. Like, you know that voice you put on when you want to mock someone, you know, like this? Yeah, combine that with the obnoxious voice Cardi B put on for her song Press, and that is basically what Glorilla sounds like to me. And as for this song, I will give Glorilla credit that, unlike Yo, she's at least attempting to rap, but it's still ruined by the fact that A, Glorilla's voice sounds absolutely atrocious, and B, her rap flow is incredibly pedestrian and basic, sounding very slow and aimless, and making an already awful song sound abhorrent. So yeah, two awful artists sound awful when grouped together. Who could have seen that coming? And then we have the lyrics, and they also suck. Basically, Moneybagg Yo and Glorilla are playing characters who are in a toxic relationship, and the song is essentially one long couples therapy session where Yo and Glorilla's characters berate the other for their toxic character traits. Rap Critic actually did a really funny review of this song where he essentially played the couples therapist, and he honestly does a great job addressing how toxic they are in this song. Moneybagg Yo is a cheating scumbag who just stays with Glorilla because it's convenient, and Glorilla is enabling Yo's cheating so she can get petty jabs at him instead of finding someone better. Thus, the song honestly just feels like a toxicity stew, watching two equally toxic people argue instead of improving, which combined with the lackluster production and awful vocals makes this truly deserving of my 8th worst song spot. Overall, On What You On is straight up garbage. The production is annoying and boring. Yo and Glorilla sound terrible, which is on brand for both artists, and the lyrics are a toxic sludge of garbage. It's such an ugly song, devoid of any creativity, passion, or enjoyability whatsoever, and even listening to it to make this section of the video felt like torture. And I can think of no better way to end this segment than to borrow a quote from the Rap Critic review I mentioned earlier. Both of you shut the F up because you both suck.
I hope you get a paper cut on your tongue from a razor and a paper cup. I hope every soda you drank already shaken up. I hope your dreams dry like raisins in the baking sun.
I considered putting Just Wanna Rock by Lil Uzi Vert on this list, but I left it off for two reasons. One, because its biggest crime was just being mediocre, and I felt like that wasn't really enough to make it worst list worthy. And two, there was a song on Pink Tape that was much more worthy of derision than Just Wanna Rock.
I sold my soul for chrome while mixed with corn. Yes, I'm splashing in fashion, I can't take no loss. I rock Junior on wannabes, I got no heart.
Just Wanna Rock may be mediocre as hell, and CS may be a laughably bad cover of Chop Suey by System of a Down, but they pale in comparison to the absolute trash pile that is Endless Fashion. Starting off with the production, and oh joy, another bad song sampling I'm Blue Dabba D. Except it's even worse because at least I'm Good tried to somewhat leave the sample intact amidst David Guetta's David Guetta-ing, where Endless Fashion bashes the I'm Blue sample into an ugly mess, with the only evidence that it even is a sample of I'm Blue being Uzi trying to lazily interpolate it in the hook. It just has this ugly, seedy vibe to it that doesn't fit with the energetic and vapid club feel the song is clearly going for. As bad as Just Wanna Rock is, the production has enough energy to where I can at least see it going off in a club. But Endless Fashion's production is too incompetent to be effective, and too dour to be any fun. And the vocals just suck. Lil Uzi Vert just sounds so bored. They don't put any passion into their vocals at all. riding the beat with as little interest as they can muster, and honestly sounding kind of sick in some areas. Like, Uzi's voice genuinely sounds congested, and when they sing Carhartt in the chorus, they sound like they're choking. I don't know what was going on with Uzi, but they were clearly not in any condition to record anything when this song was made. As for Nicki Minaj, she is putting a little more energy into her verse than Uzi is, but at the same time, she still sounds really lifeless and has no chemistry with Uzi at all. Honestly, between this, everybody from Nicki's Pink Friday 2 album this year, and Nicki's incredibly subpar verse on the Way Life Goes remix, Uzi and Nicki are just not a good team up. And then we have the lyrics, and of course they suck. They're all just a ton of vapid, materialistic garbage that means absolutely nothing. Like, at least On What You On's lyrics try to tell a story, whereas the lyrics in Endless Fashion feel like they have ADHD, constantly going from one vapid subject to the next without any real connective tissue or transition. And of course we have Nicki's idiotic Republican doctor line, the really dumb My Dudes Blow Like Virgil line. At least when Lil Mabu distastefully referenced Virgil Abloh, he did it in a song good enough to where I could almost let that slide. And misgendering Uzi in the line, I stay with that Uzi, I'm his +1. I'm not going to 100% fault Nicki for doing that. Heck, while writing the script for this section of the video, I accidentally typed out he instead of they a couple times when mentioning Uzi before correcting myself, so it's safe to assume that Nicki just forgot Uzi goes by they, them pronouns. But how did nobody behind the song, including Uzi themselves, not catch that mistake? Probably laziness. Overall, Endless Fashion is an absolute mess. The production is absolutely dour and has an I'm Blue sample that feels as tacked on as a refrigerator magnet. Uzi and Nicki's performances are passionless and devoid of chemistry, and the lyrics are not only incompetent, but feel completely disconnected. As bad as the last 3 songs were, they at least felt like they had a coherent idea behind them, even if those ideas were utter garbage. But Endless Fashion just feels like it's trying to throw as many ideas at the wall as it can to see what sticks. It's too incompetent to work as a song on its own, and the energy is too dour and depressing for the listener to have any fun with it. Easily Lil Uzi Vert's second worst song, only behind Sasuke, and I won't be wearing this Endless Fashion anytime soon.
I put endless to dinner, more rims on my tongue.
This is my band, Sexual White Chocolate. That was beautiful.
Hello, is this WAP by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion? Cool. I just wanted to apologize for what I've said about you in the past. Don't get me wrong, you're still awful, but after hearing my 6th worst song of 2023, I wanted to apologize to you, not realizing how truly disgusting it would get. Alright, thanks a bunch. Say hi to Megan for me. Play it.
Slut me out, slut me out, slut me out.
While I'm not hugely familiar with NLE Choppa's music, I have heard a couple of stuff from the guy. And while it's certainly not my thing, I can see Choppa's music certainly resonating with certain people. But Slut Me Out is just wrong. Starting off with the production, this genuinely sounds like something from a horror movie. Which would be fine if that's what the song was going for, like with Bury a Friend. But it isn't. It's trying to be a relatively wild and explicit sex song, so this dark production just does not make sense for the vibe it's trying to go for. But even removing that and judging it just as production on its own, it just sounds awful. The mix is poor, there's no real enjoyable melody or flow, and it just makes the song a chore to listen to. It's too boring and ugly to be enjoyably awful like the production for Watch the World Burn, and it's too abrasive to be forgettably disposable like the production for On Watch You On. It's the worst of both worlds. As for the vocals, they're straight awful. I may not be a huge fan of Annalie Chapa, but on songs like Camelot and Shada Flow 7, I can see how his intense voice works with the hard-hitting production to where someone who's into his music could appreciate it. But here it just does not work at all. Choppa's intense voice, combined with this awful production, just makes my skin crawl and kind of makes me feel a little nauseous. Not since Love Me by Drake, Future, and Lil Wayne have I seen vocals from a sex song make me feel that uncomfortable. And when I'm making a comparison to that garbage fire of a song, you know something's wrong. So yeah, awful vocals for an awful song. And then we have the lyrics. Now, certain music critics, such as the CHR83 and Mark from Spectrapulse, have given this song a slight pass due to the stupidity of its lyrics. And I get it. We all have songs that we enjoy in spite of and because of stupid lyrics. Heck, earlier in this video, I was having a blast tearing apart the lyrics of Watch the World Burn. And sure, there are some pretty funny lines in this song, like, "Go and put this here in your kidney, please, and hush it like some kidney beans," and "fat P words, lil P words, all P words matter, they matter." They're a lot funnier to read than to hear NLE say. And not only are most of the other lyrics just really boring, but combined with the production and NLE's vocals just make the song feel too threatening to get some ironic enjoyment out of it. Bottom line, Slut Me Out is abhorrent. The production is horrifyingly bad. NLE's already not for me vocals sound horrendous on here, and the lyrics range from hilariously incompetent but not enough to be fun to genuinely uncomfortable. Watch the World Burn made me laugh at its incompetence, and songs 9 through 7 just left me with a mix of boredom and irritation. Slut Me Out makes me want to get as far away from it as humanly possible. I hate this song and genuinely don't understand how we can live in a world where this thing got greenlit. I don't know how to end this. I just want to end the video so that I can just forget that Slut Me Out even exists. And reminder, this song didn't even make it into the top 5. Part 2 is going to be insane.
Slut me out, slut, slut, slut me out.
And that's a wrap for part 1. I have absolutely no clue when part 2 will be released given how long it took for me to release part 1, but it should be out soon. See you all next time.